Parker was a prankster, a very mischievous prankster. He had a knack for coming up with the most creative and unexpected pranks. He loved to play tricks on everyone around him. From simple whoopee cushions to elaborate setups, Parker was always thinking of new ways to surprise people. His favorite target? Aunt Kelly. She was always the perfect victim for his playful antics. Aunt Kelly lived with Parker, and their home was a constant battleground of pranks and laughter. She always had a smile for him, even when Parker was up to his old tricks. Her laughter was the best reward for Parker's efforts. She secretly loved his pranks. They brought a sense of joy and excitement to their everyday lives. One day, Parker had an idea. A spaghetti idea. He giggled to himself as he imagined Aunt Kelly's reaction. Aunt Kelly wouldn't know what hit her. Parker was determined to make this his best prank yet. Parker knew just how to get away with it. He had a plan, and he was ready to execute it flawlessly. He was a master of disguise. Whether it was a simple costume or an elaborate get-up, Parker could transform himself into anyone or anything. At least that's what he told himself. Confidence was key in pulling off the perfect prank. He put on his thinking cap. It was his secret weapon for coming up with the best ideas. It was actually a baseball cap, but to Parker it was much more than that. But it helped him think. With his cap on, Parker felt invincible, ready to take on any challenge and prank Aunt Kelly in the most unexpected way. Parker snuck into the kitchen. He was as quiet as a mouse. He peeked into the pot on the stove. Spaghetti, perfect. He scooped some spaghetti onto a plate, then he tiptoed to Aunt Kelly's room. He peeked inside. She was reading a book. Parker saw his chance. He slipped the plate of spaghetti into her slippers. Then he ran out of the room. He couldn't wait to hear her reaction. Aunt Kelly finished her chapter. She went to put on her slippers. "Ew!" she shrieked. Parker roared with laughter from behind the couch. One afternoon, Aunt Kelly was out grocery shopping. Parker had an idea. A big bouncy idea. He knew just what to do. Balloons! Parker blew and blew. He blew up dozens of balloons. He filled Aunt Kelly's room with them. There were balloons everywhere. When Aunt Kelly got home, she was shocked. Her jaw dropped. Balloons spilled out of her room and into the hallway. How could she be mad? It looked like a party. Parker jumped out from behind a mountain of balloons. "Surprise!" he yelled. Aunt Kelly laughed. Parker was lucky she loved him so much. Section 4. The Case of the Missing Glasses. One bright morning, Aunt Kelly woke up and reached for her glasses, but they were nowhere to be found. She looked everywhere she could think of. She checked her nightstand, where she usually kept them. She then moved to the bathroom, thinking she might have left them there the night before, but still no glasses. "Parker!" she called out, her voice echoing through the house. "Have you seen my glasses?" she asked, hoping her nephew might have a clue. Parker was hiding behind the curtains, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. He was trying very hard not to laugh, his small body shaking with suppressed giggles. It turned out that Parker had taken her glasses and hidden them somewhere in the house. But where could they be? Aunt Kelly was getting increasingly frustrated. She had important work to do and needed her glasses to see properly. Maybe this prank was a little too good, she thought. Parker's pranks were usually harmless, but this one was proving to be quite the challenge. Parker, seeing his aunt's frustration, began to feel a pang of guilt. Maybe he had taken the joke too far this time. He decided it was time to come clean. He stepped out from behind the curtains, his face a mix of guilt and mischief. He pointed towards the cookie jar on the kitchen counter, a place Aunt Kelly would never have thought to look. Aunt Kelly walked over and opened the jar, and there, nestled among the cookies, were her glasses. "Parker?" she exclaimed, but she couldn't help but smile. His playful spirit was infectious, even if it did cause a bit of trouble now and then. She gave him a big hug, grateful for the laughter he brought into her life, even on frustrating mornings like this one. Section 5. The Great Remote Control Caper. Parker's favourite time for a prank? TV time, of course. He loved the thrill of pulling off a good joke, especially when it involved his Aunt Kelly. She was always so focused on her shows, making her the perfect target. He waited until Aunt Kelly was engrossed in her favorite show. She was so absorbed she didn't notice Parker sneaking around. Then he made his move. With the stealth of a ninja, Parker crept closer to the coffee table. Parker swapped the TV remote with a banana. It was a classic Parker prank, simple yet effective. He held back a giggle, his heart racing with excitement. Would Aunt Kelly notice right away? This was his best prank yet. He felt a surge of pride as he imagined her reaction. Aunt Kelly reached for the remote. She frowned, her brows furrowing in confusion as her fingers wrapped around the banana instead. "Parker," she said, "did you swap the remote again?" Parker grinned sheepishly. He couldn't help himself. It was too funny to resist. Aunt Kelly pretended to be annoyed. She put on her best stern face, but Parker knew better. But Parker saw the twinkle in her eye. She wasn't really mad, she was just playing along. She was used to his silly pranks by now. They had a special bond, one that was built on laughter and playful moments like these. Parker knew that no matter how many pranks he pulled, Aunt Kelly would always love him. Section 6. Love and Laughter. Parker loved playing pranks on Aunt Kelly. And Aunt Kelly, she secretly loved his pranks too. They made life more fun. Even when he was driving her crazy, Aunt Kelly knew how much Parker loved her. And Parker knew no matter what, Aunt Kelly would always love him back. Their pranks were their special way of showing love. It was full of laughter, silliness, and a whole lot of love. They wouldn't have it any other way. After all, life was more fun with a little mischief.